Hey guys, it's me, Sean Costello. Today's video is going to be about the evolution of Billy Bob. So I'm going to be telling you about the evolution of Billy Bob. He has been changing a lot throughout the 80s. So today's video is going to be about the evolution of Billy Bob. Now keep in mind, you guys, while I was doing research about Billy Bob's evolution, for some reason, in ShowbizPizza.com, it kept saying the 80s. So, I don't know when his walk-around costume kept changing, but if you guys happen to know what year his costume has been changing, let me know down in the comments down below, alright? For now, let's get started. So, the very first Billy Bob walk-around costume was in the 80s when Showbiz Pizza first opened its doors. In my honest opinion, he kind of looks like one of those Showbiz Pizza dolls. Yeah, some people didn't really like Billy Bob's costume. Well, except for a few. They kind of like Billy Bob's walk-around costume, but some fans out there decided he really needed a bit of a change. So, later in the 80s, they changed him up to this Billy Bob walk-around costume. In my honest opinion, he kind of looks a little scary and a little bit weird at the same time. Well, some fans liked this Billy Bob walk-around costume. Other fans kind of didn't. So later in the 80s, Showbiz Pizza changed him up and gave him a more friendly, more kind of a cartoony look at the same time. In my honest opinion, it looks a little great, but some fans felt like they needed to change him up some more. So later in the 80s, they changed him up to this Billy Bob walk-around costume. This costume would appear in some of the commercials, but now strangely enough, rarely any photos of this costume was taken when I found this Billy Bob walk-around costume. Later in the 80s, they changed him up to this Billy Bob walk-around costume that we know today. So he would appear in Showbiz Pizza, and he made an appearance with a crossover with Chuck E. Cheese. Now, some of these Billy Bob walk-around costumes would have a talking walk-around Billy Bob costume. I'm going to have to make a separate video on that, explaining how this works, alright? Unfortunately, after that was the last time Billy Bob ever got a new walk-around costume. Why? If you saw my Showbiz Pizza video, you would know why. But for some of you who don't, Showbiz Pizza actually bought out Chuck E. Cheese assets. Crossovers began happening with the two. Then in the 90s, things changed when the company decided to merge all restaurants into Chuck E. Cheese. However, we thought that would not be the last time Billy Bob would get another walk-around costume. Well, no. In Billy Bob's Wonderland, I guess this kind of counts, when Billy Bob's Wonderland opened, he still used that same walk-around costume like the last one. Alright? So that is the evolution of Billy Bob. I know I kept saying the 80s, but like I said, it kept saying on the 80s. And tell me in the comments which Billy Bob's walk-around costume is your favorite. Alright? Okay guys, get ready because in the next video on Friday, I'm going to be talking about to you guys, why do Chuck E. Cheese fans hate Bella?